Good afternoon, good morning. This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty 360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. Want to welcome you to our Loyalty Expo preview series. In this series, we will hear from the presenters who will be at this year's Loyalty Expo in Orlando from June 4th to the 6th. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Michael McDowell. He's the Vice President of Loyalty and Partnerships at Parkland. How are you today, Michael?
I'm well. How are you, Mark?
Doing well, thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you in a month. I'd like to know a little bit more about Parkland for those who may not be familiar with Parkland, and also it'd be great to know your role with the company.
Yeah, no problem. So Parkland is a fuel distributor, retail, commercial, as well as supply and refinery of fuel. We operate in 23 countries, Canada, US, and then countries in the Caribbean and South America. So my responsibility is global. Canada is our most mature market from a loyalty perspective. And so my role is to lead the loyalty strategy and customer engagement strategy for Parkland and operate our Journey Rewards program that is now running in Canada and is also recently launched in Puerto Rico.
Excellent. At the end of 2023, Parkland formed a partnership with Air Canada's Aeroplan. Can you tell the audience what made the partnership attractive to both organizations?
Yeah, for Parkland, we were looking for some established programs to help accelerate our acquisition. It's obviously a very competitive market in Canada, just like the US, from a fuel major perspective. And so ways that we can extend our reach of our program, our value proposition, and our customer experience, partnerships was a great way for us to do that. From an Aeroplan perspective, well-established, the most established airline program in Canada, one of the biggest programs in Canada with the largest memberships. But of course, in an airline program, very low frequency, at most mid frequency, and then you get your kind of top travelers that are higher frequency. And so Aeroplan was looking for partners that can help drive everyday everyday kind of redemption options that's appealing to their members. And so one of the things that kind of lined up well for us was Aeroplan had their members had fuel at the top of their list of places that they were looking to earn Aeroplan, and as well as being able to get benefits for fuel. And so for us, it was a perfect match because we had the great value proposition that had national coverage. The program has national coverage in Canada. And so a great program to extend those benefits to Aeroplan members. And so for them, now that since launch in November, they've seen a good increase in their redemption numbers. They've seen a good increase in engagement. So their kind of average membership has moved up in engagements, where some of these redemption activities and more high frequency earn opportunities have come up. And for us, it's really accelerated our acquisition. And also, started to grab some share from our competition in Canada by having Aeroplan customers choosing our sites because of the opportunity to earn Aeroplan and the opportunity to actually link both programs and earn even more.
Excellent. You talked about some of the benefits for both programs. The key to successfully forming a partnership now, because brands are very focused on partnerships and making sure they're aligned. They don't want affiliate-based programs any longer. So what did you do when you formed the partnership that made it so successful and seamless for both brands, for Parkland and Aeroplan, and enabling them to come together?
Yeah, so I think a couple of the key, more like kind of the situation that made it really ideal and a great way for us to come together is we don't compete with Aeroplan or any of their existing partners, and vice versa, right? We didn't have an airline partner. And so Aeroplan was partnered with Starbucks and Uber, and those were two of their more higher frequency partners. And adding us to kind of into that group really gave them a whole different retail, or a whole different opportunity with our C-store and our fuel retail to provide to their members. So it was a great rounding out of their offering. And then for us, it's really, what we had to earn to provide them was really the value of fuel savings. It's at the top of every consumer. You look at any consumer report, when we're in a high inflationary times, high cost of living, grocery and fuel and gas are the two things that consumers are looking to save a buck on. And so because we were able to offer that to them and they didn't have anyone else doing that within their program, it made it a perfect fit. I think the other piece that was really helpful is they were very interested in using their marketing channels to drive our program. And we were very interested and willing to use our marketing channels to drive theirs. So the mutual benefit and lack of one program kind of pushing ahead of the other, which you see happens a lot in loyalty partnerships. So we're really great and fortunate with the synergies between our operation and the marketing muscle that both of us are flexing is promoting both of our programs equally.
That's awesome, because that can be a huge challenge, as you mentioned, making sure you have that reciprocity between the programs. They're both willing to promote programs. And that's oftentimes, we help brands kind of form partnerships as part of membership. Sometimes that's where it all falls apart, right? One wants to be kind of the big dog or the one-way hash, right? Everything goes to value the one program where it has to be mutually beneficial. And you described what you guys are doing, and that seems, like it is very much so.
Yeah, and typically when you add a third partner, that's when it gets really difficult. And again, we were fortunate that CIBC, that was our existing FI partner, they have an Aeroplan card in their portfolio. So the partnership between the three of us, CIBC as our bank partner, Aeroplan as a airline partner, and Journey Rewards, there's great synergies between the three of us. So being able to operate at three where it's working in nice synergy, nobody's overstepping the other is really, really good for us and been successful so far.
Okay. Who would benefit most from attending the Parkland Air Canada session at the conference?
I think one of the things I want to get into is just talking about, and I'm going to have Matt Hall, who leads the Aeroplan program with me. And so we will talk in more detail about how kind of our two programs came together. A little bit more detail about what I've talked about already is the things to look for, not just the obvious, right? Like the demand for fuel rewards, the access that we get into a well-established and large program, but some of the finer details that helped that we ironed out early in the negotiation and commercial agreement phase that really understood how we find synergies across all points. So our integration of technology, how did that work? Why did we, how we emphasize the importance of a great customer experience for both Journey and Aeroplan members when we do the linking and integration, the experience on site, right? So much of our business is on site at the gas station. And so we focused a lot on, or Aeroplan focused on, okay, what's it going to feel like for our customers? What's it going to look like? What's the experience? And so we'll go through a lot of the finer details that become really important to making sure you have a successful partnership that goes beyond just the financials of how you're going to exchange points and rewards or the operations of how you're going to work together. There's a lot of other components that become really important as you get further into the partnership.
Excellent.
So yeah, that, and I think some of the other pieces we'll talk about is just the customer response. So we'll share a lot about how customers have what they were asking for ahead of the partnership and then how they're responding now, backed up by some of the data that we're seeing as far as incrementality in the program, increased membership on both sides.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Michael, for taking the time to talk to us today. Looking forward to sitting in on the session in a month. And definitely, it's great to hear from organizations like yourself that have structured such financially beneficial partnerships, because as many brands struggle, it's great to see, Parkland and Air Canada, how they've successfully been able to pull it together and even add CIBC to the mix as well. So that's great to hear. Yeah,
my pleasure, and look forward to seeing everyone in June. Sunny
it should be sunny, hopefully. And thanks everyone for listening. Looking forward to seeing you all in Orlando. Until then, have a wonderful day.